like I said. But you, I can reason, you reason, stuff like that. Again, it's really up to you. I just, like I said, what I want is basically just healthy discussion. I think I don't think I can even impose my belief in that things over you, because like I said, my purpose in Islam is very clear. I have to convey this thing as clear as possible. It's really up to you, really. I mean, there is this thing like we as a common belief that God knows what's inside our heart. If you know that there are two ways of the coin. One is God will. This is our belief. If you take one step towards Him, God will take 10 steps towards Him. God knows that in that sense. So it's not anyone. It's not anyone responsibility to convert anyone, but it is every Muslim responsibility to convey the truth as much as the best as they can, as civilized as they can. That I think that I want just to clear on that thing, because on the day of judgment, really, if I may, let's say I happen to be true, okay? I really said, "Hey, Sharon, Boon, I know you, man. We talk." You think, Sharon, why didn't you tell me? If I happen to be true, if happen to be correct, of course you pull me down. Now you can say we can have a laugh and stuff like that. Everyone that knows me as Sharul, why do you think, you just pray alone, you go to the mosque, you don't share this kind of thing. I'll be held responsible. Do you know if I believe heaven and hell, I just, like I think Christians today have to evangelize in certain sense.
Yeah, don't worry. I know that very well. In Christianity, there's actually a line that says, the blood of the unrevealed will be on your hands, or something along those lines. So I when I was a Christian, I used to be very, very annoying. I used to go around asking, why aren't you evangelizing people and stuff like that. So I was hardcore, like I said. So I very much know what you're talking about.
So I mean, as long as I come to that point, why I'm doing this thing, I'm okay, really. So you have to understand where I'm coming from. Only then. If you are clear on that, everyone's clear, then I'm good. I have no problem with you guys, man. I love you guys. And I said in the last, I shared with you the chapter 5 verses 48. If you don't agree, it's okay. At least we can agree on all these common things, do good deeds, serve humanity and stuff like that. Yeah, Shaun, you are smiling. You want to add anything to that?
Okay. So just now Willie was talking about believing and freedom of religion.
Yeah.
So I know a few years back, there's one minister say that Malaysia freedom of religion doesn't consist of freedom to not believe in any religion. Do you recall that?
So who says that? Sorry.
A few years back, there's one of the minister, I'm not sure who, one of the politician, right?
Oh, politician, okay.
Yeah, say that freedom of religion doesn't include freedom to not believe in the religion.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you recall that, but that one stick with me for a while. So
I see.
Just want to say one thing, is that do you believe that there's a freedom to believe in any fairy tale for kids or anything, right? So they are free to believe any fairy tale.
Okay.
So if you think that there's a there's a freedom to able to believe in any fairy tale, shouldn't it also be okay to have a freedom to believe in not of any of those fairy tale? So for example, fairy tale can be like Santa Claus, unicorn exists, things like that, right, for kids. But it also means that we also can have a freedom not to believe in a fairy tale. So you can, I just want to add on that this is the things that make me want to share and tell the world that freedom of religion also include people like us who have freedom to not believe in anything. That's all I want to add on.
Yeah, thanks. One thing I just want to clarify certain things. Of course, like I said, if I don't believe that, I won't call you this thing. I'll just you all the same. I don't.
I know. I just found it very interesting topic.
Of course, one thing that I want to clear with you and really is of course, it's quite normal. We normally judge people, but we judge religion by the people. They are religious people. I think their religion must be like this. This is what the religion teach them, which is I think is not fair. If you want to judge religion, you just check or whatever what the scripture says, what God says, and you get some people who really knows about the Arabic and stuff like that, or the people of knowledge to give you at least the meaning of that. Only that is fair. Not that you cannot judge, this country, Saudi Arabia, stuff like that. This is a reflection of Muslim countries. It is not. It is not. you know.
Yeah,
To me, we don't agree. There is no one that say which one is Muslim countries that you can, you know, because you know, country is comprised of many people's individual and stuff like that. I cannot even, you ask me which, I cannot. Probably I think there is someone research that I think there is some countries in the West that they are more Muslim in their practice than the Muslim countries. I think ranking about fewer the best among them. You know what they're supposed to do as a Muslim by practice. You know, by respecting other people and stuff like do good things. I think more side on the European side, they are more better in that sense. I do believe they are more Islamic in their practice. Probably some of you guys minus certain things that I don't agree. Otherwise, they're okay. Yeah. Especially those who are really fight for humanity. To me, that's super good. Yeah. Yes, Willie, you want to disagree with me?
Wait, just that we have never judged religions or anything based on the people who practice. Never ever. We've only judged the actual teachings, or actual decisions that people have made based on those religions. The opposition towards LGBT, for example, is largely out of religion. It's not like people who worship have this belief. It's the religion actively is against it. Like Christianity, for example, is not actually all of them. It's I guess a lot of Christianity, but there are denominations of Christianity which are very welcoming. But when we say values, this is where the large the large O, the objective morality thing comes into the picture. If you're going to sit down and discuss with a whole group of people, you're going to get this 5% of the world population who are gay, lesbian, etc., and you're going to sit with them and ask them, how can society's rules change in order to make sure that you feel included and you don't feel like you are constantly in trouble for being the way you are, right? That's the subjective part of it. The objective part of it comes into the picture when God tells you that these people are all wrong. The way they are, they're not supposed to act on. We love them, yes. Don't hate the sinner, not the sin, blah blah blah. But they are all still wrong. They're still not supposed to act upon the kind of things that is where the line is drawn, right? So again, we're not talking about just judging whether religions are good or bad or etc. based on all these kind of things. It's the teachings, is the actual question of whether you want to bring many of these very very old rules that comes out in this holy text and whatnot, and compare it against new things which are coming out these days. No way in the holy books, or actually you can probably find instances of it. I can actually think of a couple myself in the Old Testament about separating sick people and all this. So never mind that. But the moral values shift, right? They shift with generations over time because people are becoming more aware. We're becoming more inclusive. We're including more people in our definition of our circle. Like our collective conscience, if you like. And so we should expect morality to shift over time and so on.
Right. Thanks, Willie. Of course, the LGBT is a topic on itself. I don't quite know very detailed, and it's quite complex and very, very. I need more people who have more knowledge on that thing to really comment on that thing. So I don't really have, apart from, it's a bit difficult to be in that position of them. And of course, like I say, the cliche said, hate the sins, love the sinner, and stuff like that. To me, it's a big test for them to be, where they were born into and stuff like that. Of course, there's also a shifting morality, like you said. It's just that. Oh, okay, I'm just trying to catch you, can you really, yeah, of course. I think we're going around now. Of course, there is problem like some people say, like incest, like suicide and stuff like that. How do you, because when you let people decide, so this thing will come. Once upon a time, incest is not so common, and now I think there are cases where they apply to the court, they want to get married with their own daughter and stuff like that.
You can apply science to look at whether incest is okay or not. We do know that there are, is it called congenital birth defects or something? There's a high chance of bad biological effects, right? Proper medical term for it. If you do incest up to how many degrees of what you call family members.
But,
at the same time, the subjective part of this comes into the picture when you ask the question, what do you prevent people who have genetic markers for specific high probability of certain types of diseases to still have children, right? So in the same way, so this is actually something which a student taught me, for myself, my value system for incest has been very consistent for a very long time. It was simply, no, incest is not okay because it causes congenital birth defects, because there's a high danger of creating children which are unhealthy. So it was fairly simple for me until one of the students pointed out to me just a couple of months back, 8 or 9 months back, he pointed out to me that, okay, so if a couple are going to produce unhealthy children, and we say incest is bad because of this, then can we say that we don't allow anybody who is capable of producing a high probability of unhealthy children from having birth at all? We don't have that kind of law, right? So that reason alone cannot be a good reason for disallowing incest. But there are other reasons. There are things like unbalanced power. What is it called? Using authority to force children, or all these kind of things. Those are still other very good subjective moral reasoning reasons why we don't encourage incest in society. We don't want parents to bring up children just to be their sexual partners and stuff.
All right. What if there is no evidence? Say they come up with some pills, whatnot, that the babies can be just fine as normal.
Yeah, like I just said, they are the so you can't use that the congenital birth defects that may not be very applicable comparing to other reasons, but you still have relationship reasons. The same reason why you don't people who can abuse their position in order to get people to have relationships with them, right? So you don't allow bosses to, well, actually we those are adults, so it's a little bit different. Children are minors, right? They're unable to make informed decisions on themselves. So we don't want people to raise and groom a child to be their sexual partner.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the reason why incest is typically still not allowed.
Yeah, but normally, what if they are adults and stuff like that?
Yeah, so the thing. So when it comes to adults, then it's a completely different story, right?
Yeah, so adult. We're talking about adults, and you're not talking about kids. Of course, kids is one of the things. You cannot abuse people of underage and stuff like that. So this is a bit different. I'm just talking about this. It's okay. I mean, just asking. How about suicide, Sean? How you draw a line, man? Suicide is not good.
Suicide is definitely not good. That's why mental health is a big issue and everything. But I don't think criminalizing someone who attempt to suicide is a good thing. I think we shouldn't criminalize people just because they attempt suicide. We should take a look on why people suicide, and we should cure it from the root instead of cure it to criminalize them. I think people who try to commit suicide should find a counselor and to counsel them and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah. The thing is, we in a certain sense that we can agree on many things on moral, what is good, what is not good. I think that the difference between and over and above that, we have this free will to choose to do that or not to do that. It's just that in Islam, there is hereafter to judge. If you choose to do that things, you'll be punished. There's certain, people. I think you got students. If you treat people all the same, student the same, you whatever that you do, you still give 100. There must be some kind of test, where you wrote a good student and not so good student. Otherwise, it just, I don't know. You get my point. I'm losing my point. There must be some kind of rewards and punishment system. Otherwise, if you treat all people, it's meaningless in that sense. What you say about that thing? You're 11 o'clock now. Really?
Sorry, there must be some kind of reward and punishment system.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, now basically it's about subjective. It's really up to you. You want to do good, you do good stuff, and people say, what? Of course, there is this. I think Colin said if he's not, he lost his face. Up to point said there is only two ways. It's either become a dictator, according to him, because he's a belief on God, or he will commit suicide. In that sense, so So I told him, really won't agree to this thing. How come there's options for whether you become a dictator or you suicide? I told him that. I mean, there must be a third option, which is to do good things despite you don't believe in a God. Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah.
I suppose if you look at the possibility of life, right, in general, then like if you're trying, so first thing of all is like trying to say to that person whether committing suicide is right or wrong. There's not much point if there's no afterlife. Like that's definitely true. But if you take from a larger societal point of view, you can like so no punishment or reward or whatever it is. You can still take the point of view of whether this course of action is something which is positive for that individual, right? And we know that in a lot of cases, if people actually manage to get past it, they can still live reasonably good lives. So in this kind of situations, maybe suicides that happen in very, I mean most suicides, I would say, it happens in spontaneous, very down kind of situations, right? So if we can do something for these people, that would be the right thing to do, right? So I'm sure you can. If you want to look it up, there's lots of technical, what you call moral discussions around suicide without bringing reward and punishment into it. I actually get students to read and research up about these kind of things for assignments and stuff like that. So I have but it's very academic, obviously. There's a lot of discussion, but they're all very logical, right? And they make a lot of sense when you look at it.
Okay, thanks, Willie. About a dictator, I think it's quite logical argument also from Colin, in the sense that if I were, it's a product of accident by chance, things grown up and stuff like that, I become human, what's stopping me from being very selfish, from maximizing whatever, making profit? I just don't care about people.
Society.
Sorry?
The rest of society.
Well, why should I care about society? I'm happy, man. So, I can watch movie, anime, and stuff like that.
so think about it, right? People who make these kind of claims, is it true that if tomorrow we stop believing, right? We stop or all these religions exist, suddenly human beings will suddenly forget not to murder their neighbors? I honestly don't think so.
Murder, okay, I totally agree with you. Murder is probably a bit different thing.
The idea, yes, there is selfishness, there is your needs. You want to do certain things, you like things and whatever it is. But you also realize that your existence is codependent on so many other people. So actually, there's this you can study human the way human beings have changed. There's this very good book called Guns, Germs, and Steel by a guy called Jared Diamond. He actually examines how human civilization changes over time from early days when humans probably identified with just family members, and then they grow slightly bigger into tribes, and then how they evolve into like tribes of like 100, 200 people, and then how that turned into nations. And along the way, people's definition or codependency with each other grew and grew. So if you can go back to earlier times during, when we were hunter-gatherers and living in nomadic tribes, yes, you can say like, people are murdering each other left and right and stuff like that these days. But these days, no matter how selfish you want to be, you have to be somebody who exists with everybody else. You can't we're not farmers, like at least the three of us, I think, are not farmers. You can't piss off the farmers, you won't get food. You can't go around going like, I'm the greatest person, only I deserve to exist. You have to consider everybody else's existence as well. So whether we like it or not, this generation, the current group of people in existence, this is the societal integration is built into us. One way or another, we know how to be polite to each other, we know how to rely on each other, we know how to trust each other and stuff like that. Otherwise, society breaks down. And that has nothing to do with a dictator telling you, what to do, or whether your objective morals or whatever it is. This is how you...
No, of course. It's I think even in Christian and Muslims, you have to do that things for the sake of doing it, for the sake of for God and stuff like that. No? I mean, it's just that there is, if you don't do, there is some punishment at the back. Still you don't see. My point is, I forgot my point. It's okay, really. It's okay. No. The thing is, my point is, I always have this problem of people being selfish in this world. I mean, the world's, I think, we have this. We are struggling with capitalism. The rich are becoming richer, and they become selfish. And there are many people. Yeah. So also at the same time, you have this the social, the communism, stuff like that. Even China has become capitalism. They're also having some sort of problem. So they have a social democrat in Europe. They try to have the best of both ways and stuff like that. They also have some many problems as well, in some other sense, as family values and stuff like that. But what my concern, my problem is that we are. To me, about humanity is that we have this problem of selfishness. I cannot really tell you to do good things in that sense. I tell you must do good things. If you don't do good things, God will punish you if you die. If you do good things or you do bad things, God will punish you in that sense. Because we cannot force people to do good things. Or the thing is, like, both of you choose to do good things. To me, I like it in that sense. Second thing, you don't have these universal moral values. You cannot tell me to do good things, stuff like that. This is my life, man. This is my money. I work hard for it. I want to enjoy it in certain sense. That's why, I mean, we are declining towards that. I have this problem. And over that, I'm happy that both of you subscribe to humanity, helping good people.
Well,
it's just that, yeah.
There are ways to, I mean, there's good news for you, basically. According to studies of all kinds of human condition and whatnot, like yes, capitalism, I also agree with you about that. It may not be actually what ultimately works for human society. So again, through a subjective moral discussion, we may discover that there are other ways, there are better ways to move things along. There's this thing called something with the word anarchy inside, where, like, say, a group of people, if they start a company, everybody owns a share in the company, and not like now, where you have shareholders at the top, and then people who are just employees. So there's a name for this. That's the word anarchy. One of the atheists taught me this term. So interestingly, one of the companies, one of the gaming companies that I like a lot is Blizzard, right? And Blizzard was bought over by a giant corporation a bunch of years ago, and a lot of the staff inside have moved and they have formed their own company. And in this new company, they are actually following that method. Every employee inside owns a share or a portion of the company, and when they build games and whatever profit they get, everybody gets a share of it. So this is a possible future social model that many people may be moving towards, right? So again, this is one of those places where values are shifting. What was the original point I was trying to make? The the idea being that yes, selfishness is fine if you always remember that this is collective selfishness, right? This is the idea is your situation improves when everybody else's situations improve, and this is true in so many different ways. If you want your country to be better, you cannot ignore problems in the surrounding countries or whatever it is. If wars and etc. happen, refugees will flood into your countries. Eventually, it will come to you, right? COVID-19, if you vaccinate your entire country, whatever it is, the virus will continue to mutate in all the other countries, and then new variants will develop, which will actually defeat the vaccination which your country already has, right? So that's the reason why, if you understand the science of it, all these things are there. So there is good news in the sense that regardless of whether the systems seem to work or not, you can look at the statistics. There is a overall decline in violence all around the world, in deaths and all these kind of things. If you don't count COVID, that is an unusual situation. So we may still hear a lot about wars and stuff like that happening around the world, but that is actually because we care more. We are paying more attention. Israel and Palestine, people are paying a lot of attention to it these days, more than the previous conflicts that have happened there, right? But if you actually count the amount of human life loss and all these kind of things, it has declined, right? There's tons of statistics. You can look at deaths from violence all around the world and etc. So that is simply the advancement of human society overall in general, despite the fact that population is growing and space is scarce.
All right, thanks, Willie, on that thing. I think 11. I think I just want to call it night. Okay. Yes, I think start with Sean. Probably just. Is there anything that you want to ask, Willie?
No, sorry. Whether I have questions on.
Is there anything that you want to ask?
No, not in particular.
Not in particular. Okay. May I just ask you one last thing? I think you basically have done. Anything that you want to okay, I think that's okay. I think I made myself a bit clear on that. Yes, Sean, probably your last words to the people outside.
One last question. When are we doing the second round?
You want a second round?
No, this is quite interesting to talk, and I think some of the viewers would also like to see this happen again or something like that, because I think this is fun, fun things to do, to share discussion, to see the other side, what they think about it and things like that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Shaun. I'm not too sure. Probably we will arrange for. I'm definitely okay with any kind of dialogue like this. It's okay. Some people also say that I'm talking too much in certain sense. What I'm trying to say is, I just want people, actually both of you, I'm not trying to convert you. I think really quite understand that from evangelical Christians, evangelical hardcore. I have just to make myself clear. If I made that statement clear, I think I'm quite fine with that. I'm okay with any kind of discussion, civilized discussion. I'm okay. Yeah, Willie, your last word.
I suppose just to say for viewers out there and stuff like that, in case there's any misunderstanding or whatever it is, like I have a lot of trust in Sarul, right? Again, thank you for doing this, and again inviting and including us in the previous what was the WIHW? Some of the discussion was intentionally a little bit more like we told Sarul, no, not to say no holds barred, but sometimes people do ask those questions, right? And we don't mind those questions, because it's better that people understand and have answers to things which they may be thinking about atheism or humanism or whatever it is, rather than just keeping quiet and being polite. Like Malaysians are very polite and stuff like that. So sometimes when we do like interfaith talks are always very polite, very nice and stuff like that, right? But sometimes we have questions. We need to know, we need to ask, we need to voice out and speak out, and etc. So as long as like Sarul mentioned many times, as long as we're willing to hear each other out, we're willing to understand each other, we can agree to disagree, right? But we should at least understand each other's point of view. And actually, at the end of the day, I don't think we'll find each other that different, right? Actually, I have one very dear atheist friend of mine who used to be very active in the forum circles and whatever it is, and he is very straightforward. He speaks his mind and whatnot. He went to studies and stuff like that, and recently he's no longer active in the atheist circles, because he has found that actually working with people from all kinds of religions, it doesn't matter whether they're humanists, Christians, or whatever, but actually sometimes it's not about the faiths or the non-faiths or whatever it is. As long as everybody wants to work towards improving the human condition and whatnot, that's what matters, right? And if that's our goal, then the differences between us, many of them can be worked out, right? We can figure it out. We can discuss and talk about a lot of the things in between. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Willie, both of you, Shaun, for I met, if you don't know, I met Willie during his debate with who that Samuel in 2019. I asked him for only today that things realized, when I have my own platform, when I decide whether I want to do, and I ask some other people, they don't want to do. You close door, you don't talk to them, don't give a platform to me. I think that's what we are as a human that we are supposed to be doing. Whatever the differences, I think we can talk out that things. I don't know. I cannot control you guys, but I can control myself. I don't have any bad intention against you guys. If I were to do this thing, you know why I have to do this thing. I love you guys. I love everyone. I want this world to be a better place for everyone. It's just that we have different on that thing. I'm so scared if I'm true. I get that thing right. Sure, really. If you got that things, I'm okay. I'm okay. That we can talk on some other things. Just try to clarify each other why we believe in what we believe. How we have that different viewpoints. That's a beauty in this world and human being. With that, I also thank you very much for all those listeners. It has been how many? 2 hours now. Gosh, man, and I like this one because I can talk to you. And some other thing I'm restricting myself. I cannot. So because that's belief. And again, thank you guys, because they can only participate. I can only take their question. There are many comments, stuff like that. So with that, thank you very. Sorry.
We managed to address quite a number of the questions. So yeah.
It's okay. If you want to listen, Sean, next week, and those also watching, there is this this interfaith series is basically the Islam one. I'll try to whatever that you have, your question, I'll throw to them, whatever the question they try to answer. I throw through all the speakers. You can ask in the Facebook Live. It will be on the 5th of June, 9 p.m. next to Saturdays. And after that, probably I'm going to do a weekly reflection show for us to see certain things and reflect and stuff like that with AD. So that is that. You guys, please comment, probably like and subscribe to this thing. It doesn't cost you a dime, man. It doesn't cost you anything, but it will promote a good dialogue between different people, belief and views. With that, thank you very much, you guys, those watching, and again, I love you guys 10 billion times. Thank you.
Love you too, Saru.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You stay back sekejap. Just sekejap. Yang the rest, I try to, how to stop this. Stop live stream. Okay. We're not on record. I'll try to stop. Hi everyone, terima kasih kerana menonton sampai habis video tadi. Jika awak suka dengan video tadi, boleh tekan tombol like. Kalau awak rasa dia bermanfaat, mungkin boleh sharekan kepada yang lain. Dan kalau awak rasa berminat, mungkin boleh tolong subscribekan sekali, sebab saya insyaAllah akan membuat video seperti ini setiap 2 minggu sekali. Saya ada di BOONTALKSHOW di FB, YouTube dan juga Instagram. Cuma Instagram ni kurang sikit. Tapi kalau tuan-tuan atau perempuan tak suka, boleh tekan tombol dislike. Dan kalau boleh nyatakan juga kenapa tak suka, mungkin dekat situ saya boleh improve. Kalau yang suka tadi pun boleh nyatakan apa yang bagus dan saya akan cuba kekalkan atau tingkatkan lagi. Okey, tujuan saya buat benda ni adalah untuk contribute, untuk menyumbang, untuk menjadikan dunia kita lebih baik daripada apa yang ada sekarang. Jadi topik-topik yang saya akan bawakan berunsurkan ilmu yang bermanfaat ataupun sumber-sumber inspirasi. Jadi kalau ada apa-apa cadangan topik ataupun speaker, boleh terus message saya sama ada di Facebook ataupun di YouTube. Saya jarang tengok. Kalau nombor telefon, tolong message saya terus. Itu saja. Terima kasih daripada saya. I love you 7 billion times. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Bye.